Well, morning all. Who'd have thought it? I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here. Yeah. And Harry. Well, it's worth watching. Well done, Harry. Who would have thought that, eh? I bet they've only put him in, so it's got another rough-looking face to compare with Scarlett Moffat. Moffat. Who the hell picked her? What an absolute joke. She's ugly. She can't speak clearly. She forgets lines. She has to read everything she does. She's got no personality and she weighs about 20 stone. Always wearing some barrage balloon outfit. And then you've got Holly and Ant. Well, what a joy. Well, it's worth watching, there's no doubt about that, because everybody's getting stuck in, even poor old Anne. Now, I would have thought Anne was put in to be taken out on health grounds, but she nearly is. But she did a good one last night. Anyway, if they need a Geordie to balance out whatever's going on there, they could use Cheryl. Apparently her career's in free fall. Record labels dumped her, no work, can't sing. Well, she'd be all right on there. At least she's got a personality. And she could certainly be able to use the dunny by the looks of that little picture. If you saw a photo of this fella, and somebody said he's 32 and he's a student, or is he a spy? What would you say? Yeah, and me. Funny, isn't it? All this activity, Foreign Office going mad, everybody going mad, for a student asking stupid questions about wars and things. Yes, very strange. You never see him on University Challenge. Anyway, I'm having a bad run with University Challenge at the moment. I only got one right last week. Can't believe it. Best is 7. Now I'm back to normal. Looks like the Met are getting off their arse at last. Must be Cressida Dick has been bypassed by somebody that thinks they know what they're doing. Well, last year they had 12,192 thefts by people on mopeds snatching mobiles. And this year it's dropped to 8,261, but they've now got trained officers to knock moped riders off their bikes. Well, I can't wait for that, killing an innocent pedestrian or killing a moped rider, because that'll soon come to an end when they've left it this bloody long. And then all you got to do is, why haven't they done anything about the stabbings? Stab wounds are up for kids, teenagers, under 18s. Stab wounds are up by 86%. Well, maybe they start giving out suits of armour next. But anyway, they seem to know what they're doing, so onwards and upwards. Night all. One decent story in the news where it looks like the police are making an effort, but then look at this lot. Unbelievable. You see the news last week? A PC and a policewoman out on the streets, allegedly doing their duty, were assaulted by 3 or 4 kids. The policewoman was decked with a kick to the chest, and the PC was knocked to the ground, and he managed to hang on to one of the legs of these kids as they were trying to run away. And then we get a senior officer saying that the police can't cope with all this violence, despite apparently the equipment that they have, look at this lot. And then the public are supposed to join in and help. Oh yes, can you imagine that? I remember years ago driving down the A6 when I still had a bit of faith in the police, and I saw a copper having a good hiding off a couple of lads. So I stopped and I joined in. And I could fight in those days, and I battered them. One ran off and I battered the other one. And then I got threatened with being charged with causing grievous bodily harm. That's why nobody helps, you stupid bastards. You don't know which way to turn. Make it up, can you? There's 23 forces out of the unnecessary 43 bloody forces that have transgender officers. So what do? The powers that be, they don't worry sitting behind the desks about the crime, the stabbings, the rapes, and usually that's only by the police. They don't want you calling them sir or madam any longer in case you get the sex mixed up. I can't believe it. What can you say to that? Another county force, top heavy with senior officers sitting behind desks, is Northampton Shire. Could be well absorbed by Birmingham City for what good it'll do. And they've just locked up Bungle. The Chow Chow pup for police assault and locked him in a cage. But public outcry stopped all that, and Bungle's been released, with some silly bastard at the headquarters claiming it was the right thing to do. Well, that's leadership. Onwards and upwards. Yorkshire Police, well known for never undertaking any serious police work, have come up with a belter. They've taken a complaint of a flasher in a park, and what he did, he walked up, dropped his trousers at a young female student, and he was described as having a small penis, very little bodily hair, and dangling testicles, and tubby. Well, worried you know who, that description, really. Anyway, the police put this out for public consumption, but they've had to withdraw it due to the complaints. Well, it's another county force, isn't it? What can you do? And then they got another description of him. He's white with a very pale complexion, aged 35 to 45, and about 5'10" with a fat build. But no mention of his tackle. But what he did, he dropped his pants round his ankles and then ran away. Well, they must have added in there he had an occupation as a clown, surely. How can you run with your pants round your ankles? Not for me. Bernard's had another letter and he'd like to publicise the results for all and sundry. And it read, Dear Bernard, as I get on in life, I find it difficult to have an orgasm. And knowing what a wonderful lover, counsellor and keep fit artist you are, I thought you may have had some tips. And Dear Bernard replies, Dear Frustrated, I'm glad you wrote. I've just read some American research and the results are quite dramatic. You can easily have an orgasm without having sex. Bit of a surprise, yes, but you can. And all you have to do is eat a tuna sandwich, have a haircut, lifting bags, for crying out loud, getting a tattoo, sticking feet out of the car window. I think there must be a bit more involved in that one, really, but anyway, whisking eggs, cleaning your ears, perhaps more than a cotton bud, tooth removal, and here's a belter, giving birth. I should think that's the last thing you want, a bloody orgasm while you're giving birth. Anyway, never look back, mopping the floor. So, dear frustrated, I hope that helps. But don't eat a tuna sandwich while your feet are out of the car window. It can prove embarrassing. Dear Bernard, again. He's asked me to let you know about this one. The letter read, briefly, Dear Bernard, I'm in a care home and I get very little privacy for my sex life. Is there anything you can offer? So Bernard, good as gold, has replied. Dear old and frustrated, Help the Aged and the College of Nursing has just come up with a little paper saying that rooms should be set aside with double beds for elderly lovemakers. A few of us about with that one. And anyway, you should also make available Viagra, sex toys, and there should be allowance made for cross-dressing and people into sadomasochism. Well, if that isn't something to put your back out, I don't know what is. But anyway, I hope that helps. Yours sincerely, Bernardo. Anyway, talking about Help the Aged, in my never-ending quest to do some good to society, I wrote to Help the Aged and they were advertising for a sales rep to fundraise. And they were offering £45,000. Now that's a charity. Offering 45 grand for a salesman. Frightening. So anyway, I wrote and I said, I don't want 45 grand. 25 will do. Just give me the job. And they refused because I was too old. Now that says it all, doesn't it? Thank you, Help the Aged. Onwards and upwards. And that's the end for today. Thank you all. And thank you, Bernard.